I still remember the first night I stepped into that house, asterisk asterisk. It wasn't supposed to be anything special, just a cheap rental on the outskirts of Setagaya, Tokyo. But the second I crossed the threshold, I felt watched. I'm Aoi, a third-year student at Waseda University. I've always been sensitive. Not the bubbly, artsy kind. I mean sensitive to things most people can't see. Ghosts, shadows, whispers in the dark, the usual stuff my friends laugh at. Yuna, my roommate, is exactly that type, the practical, grounded one who would scoff at ghost stories. She thinks I make it all up. The house itself looked charming in a worn-out, nostalgic way. Wooden floors creaked under every step, and the tatami mats smelled faintly of dust and old incense. The previous tenants had left some furniture behind, including a tall, dark wooden wardrobe in the corner of the second-floor bedroom. It was Yuna who found it first. "Gross," she said, pointing to a shard of mirror inside the wardrobe. It had a streak of dried blood and a snapped rope tangled across it. I felt my stomach twist. There was something wrong about it. But Yuna didn't care. She tossed it into the trash. I, of course, wiped it clean. There's a reason I do that. I can feel residual emotions. Like fingerprints left on the air. I wiped the blood streak, and for a split second, the reflection blinked before I did. Then the glass cracked with a sound like bone snapping. I screamed. Yuna ran in. The crack was gone, asterisk asterisk. That night, I tried to sleep. But sleep didn't come. Not really. Around 3 a.m., I felt it. That pressure on my chest, like something heavy was pinning me down, sleep paralysis, my rational brain whispered. But then I heard it. A soft male voice, almost tender. "Go to home." I froze. I opened my eyes. My hand twitched, and I felt a pale, cold grip on my wrist. I looked around, nothing. Nothing but the shadows of the old tatami mats. I bolted upright, heart hammering. Yuna didn't stir. No one else was in the room. But I couldn't shake it, the feeling that someone, or something, was studying me from the darkness. The next morning, I tried to tell myself it was nothing. Just a bad dream. But when I went to the kitchen, I found something odd. The reflection in the small window glass didn't quite match my movements. My smile lingered a second too long, my eyes blinked too slowly. And when I turned, there was no one behind me. Days passed. Mom moved in first. Keiko, she's a nurse, works night shifts. She seemed uneasy. Not the normal, oh, new house, kind of uneasy. I caught her staring at the wardrobe mirror sometimes, as if the reflection were someone else. Then Rika, my little sister, moved in. Shy, timid, afraid of the dark, exactly like she always was. Except, the night she first slept here, I heard faint knocking. 3 a.m. She opened her door. Empty hallway. Just her shadow stretching long in the weak lamplight. But then I noticed something strange, wet footprints, like someone had just walked in. They led to Mom's room. "Rika?" I whispered. No answer. I started feeling like I wasn't alone. Not just me, Mom too. Even Yuna, who never believed in any of this, began acting jumpy. One evening, I was cooking udon in the tiny kitchen. Mom was at work, Rika at school. The old radio on the counter crackled, then played a soft, haunting lullaby. I called out, "Rika. Is that you?" A sweet, timid voice answered, "Yeah, sis." I froze. Rika was still at school. I ran to her room. Empty. Just the wardrobe, just the mirror, just me staring back, except my reflection, it smiled. Not a nervous, shy smile. A slow, knowing smile, as if it had secrets it wanted me to see. I don't know how long I stood there. Minutes, hours, time lost all meaning. But when I finally left, I knew. Something had started. Something patient, waiting, and it was focused on me. And then the first incident happened. Yuna came home late from a study session. Her face pale, lips trembling. "Something's in the house," she whispered. I saw him. A boy. He was behind the mirror, watching me. I swear, Aoi. I swear. I wanted to laugh. Wanted to tell her she was imagining it. But my chest tightened, and my own reflection in the window didn't look quite like me. That night, I barely slept. The air was thick. I kept hearing whispers, soft and coaxing, just beyond the edge of hearing. Come closer, it's time." I didn't know then that the wardrobe mirror wasn't just a mirror. It was a doorway. A memory. A trap. And I was already standing too close. By the end of that week, the house felt alive. Not in a good way. The walls seemed to breathe, shadows slithered just beyond vision, and every reflection was wrong. And in the corner of my mind, a single thought wouldn't leave me. When I looked into that mirror, I didn't just see myself. I saw him. And he was waiting. That night, I woke to the sound of someone humming. A lullaby I'd never heard, soft and terrible. My eyes opened, and in the wardrobe mirror, a girl in a white yukata was brushing her hair. Her face was not mine. After that night, the lullaby didn't stop. It followed me, soft, almost gentle. Sometimes from the mirror, sometimes from the hallway. Sometimes it was a man's voice. Sometimes, a girl's. I told myself we just needed to bless the house, to make it feel normal again. Yuna suggested a housewarming party. "We'll drink, invite people over, kill the creepy vibe," she said. So that weekend, we invited everyone, 3 classmates, my boyfriend Kaito, and Miko, a friend of Yuna's who claimed she could feel energies. The moment Miko walked in, her face turned white. "Who died here?" she whispered. Her tone froze the air. Kaito laughed it off. "Relax, it's just an old house." But Miko wasn't listening. Her eyes were fixed on the second floor, her fingers tracing invisible symbols in the air. "There's perfume," she said. "Like old lipstick and death." We laughed. Nervously. Night fell. The lights flickered all evening, buzzing like trapped flies. Around 10, the bulb in the hallway went out completely. Kaito volunteered to fix it. He grabbed a flashlight and went upstairs. I should have gone with him. Minutes passed. The others were still chatting when I heard a crash. I ran up. The flashlight lay on the floor, still on. The light trembled across the mirror in Mom's room. "Kaito." The reflection flickered. I saw him, standing there, frozen. Behind him, in the mirror, hung a girl in a white yukata. Her head tilted at an impossible angle. Her feet brushed the floor. Her eyes were open. And she was smiling. "Kaito, behind you." He turned. Nothing there. Then, his throat snapped forward, as if an invisible rope had tightened. He clawed at his neck, choking, gasping, feet kicking. There was no rope. But something was there. I swear I heard it, fibers twisting, wood creaking, the air tightening like it was breathing with him. He collapsed. Blood dripped from his mouth. Miko screamed, "It's him. He's pulling his lover back." We called the ambulance. The doctor said it was a spontaneous respiratory collapse. But his neck had clear marks, rope burns. That night, when everyone left, I sat alone in the dark. The mirror's surface was cracked now, faintly shimmering like water. Then my phone buzzed. Miko. She wanted to make sure I was okay. We started a video call. At first, everything looked normal, just me, pale under the flickering light. But then Miko's expression shifted. Her lips trembled. Aoi, don't move. What? There's someone behind you. I turned my camera slowly. The mirror reflected a man in an old school uniform, like from the 1980s. His hand rested on my shoulder. In his other hand, he held a rope. He leaned close, whispering something only my bones seemed to understand. Finally, you came back. Miko screamed, run. He thinks you're her, Sakiko. The call cut. I ran. Out of the house. Down the narrow street. I didn't stop until I reached the Family Mart near the train station. I sat there under the fluorescent lights until sunrise, hands trembling, phone dead. When I came back home, Mom and Rika were asleep. Yuna was gone, she'd packed her things overnight. For the next few days, nothing happened. The house was quiet. Too quiet. Then Rika changed. It started small, her humming the same old lullaby, the one I'd been hearing for weeks. Then she started brushing her hair at the mirror, wearing a white yukata she said she'd found in the wardrobe. Her hair looked wrong. Tangled. Wet. Like it had soaked in something dark. Rika, where did you get that? I asked. She didn't answer at first. Then she turned, smiled, and said softly. He's waiting for me, sis. Her voice wasn't her own. It was higher. Fragile. Almost pleading. That night, Mom came to my room, shaking. I looked in the mirror, she whispered. And for a moment, I saw someone else. A girl. Crying. She mouthed the words, don't let him in. We both went silent. Down the hall, Rika's door creaked open. The lullaby started again, faint, distant, and heartbreakingly sweet. I pressed my ear to the wall. She was talking to someone. Don't worry, she said softly. I'll come back this time. My blood ran cold. Because I could hear the reply. A man's voice. Gentle, calm, and full of longing. I've been waiting for you, Sakiko. That was the first night I realized, my sister wasn't my sister anymore. When she smiled at me the next morning, her eyes were not Rika's. They were hers. After that night, I stopped calling her Rika. Because whatever was inside her, wasn't my sister anymore. She stopped eating. Stopped talking. Spent hours sitting in front of the cracked mirror upstairs, brushing her hair backward, humming that lullaby. Every stroke of the brush made the air colder, heavier, like the house itself was holding its breath. Mom wanted to take her to a doctor, but I knew. Deep down, I knew. This wasn't an illness. It was a calling. Rika had become Sakiko. That name kept appearing, carved faintly into the wooden frame of the wardrobe, whispered in the air when I passed by. Sakiko. The girl who hanged herself here in 1987, with her lover, Takumi. They died together. And now, he wanted her back. That night, it happened, asterisk. I woke to the sound of creaking wood. I ran to Rika's room. The door was ajar. She was standing on a chair, the broken rope from the trash tied into a noose. Her yukata was soaked in something dark. She stepped off. Mom burst in, holding the broken mirror shard to her own throat, asterisk. If she goes, I go too, she sobbed, asterisk. I had to wrestle the glass from her hand, cutting my palm. My blood dripped onto the tatami, and the mirror drank it, asterisk. The rope snapped. Rika fell, gasping. But in the mirror, she was still hanging. Smiling. Miko came again, this time bringing someone with her, a man in dark robes, holding a string of Shingen prayer beads. His name was Kuroda. He didn't introduce himself like a priest. He He just stood in the doorway, eyes fixed on the cracked mirror, and murmured. "It's already open." Mom began to cry. "Can you save my daughter?" Kuroda didn't answer. He opened his satchel, pulling out a small bowl of salt, incense, and a short wooden hammer. "The spirit is not malicious," he said softly. "He's unfinished." He turned to me. "When they died, their last words bound them here. He repeats the moment again and again, searching for her. Your sister, her birth date, her energy, matches the girl's. So the mirror chose her. Chose her asterisk." That word sank into me like ice. At midnight, the ritual began. We gathered in the room. Candles lined the tatami floor. The air shimmered, thick with incense smoke. Kuroda's voice droned in deep, rhythmic Sanskrit, each word shaking the floorboards. Rika sat motionless, eyes half open, whispering to someone we couldn't see. Then, her head tilted. Slowly. Too slowly. "Don't," she murmured. "Don't take him away again." The mirror rippled, like water disturbed by something beneath. And then we saw him. Takumi. A boy no older than 20, his school uniform soaked, rope still clinging to his neck. He stepped out from the reflection, eyes locked on Rika. Tears streamed down his pale cheeks. Finally, he whispered. "You came back." Rika, Sakiko, smiled. "I promised, didn't I?" She stood up, moving toward him. I screamed her name, but my voice died in my throat. The candles flickered out. Only the light from the mirror remained, cold, white, merciless. Kuroda struck the floor with the wooden hammer, chanting faster. His beads rattled like teeth. "Cut the tie," he shouted. The mirror cracked down the middle, a black line splitting Takumi's face in two. Blood, real blood, trickled from the glass and pooled onto the tatami. Rika screamed. It wasn't pain. It was grief. Takumi reached for her, but the glass began to shatter inward, pulling him back. He fought, hands digging into the air, voice breaking. I waited, so long. Rika fell to her knees, crying. "I'll come back. I'll find you again." Then, silence. The mirror exploded, shards flying across the room, slicing through smoke. The candles extinguished. When the air cleared, Rika lay unconscious in my arms. Takumi was gone. Kuroda fell to his knees, whispering something I couldn't hear. The smell of iron filled the air. And then, faintly, from somewhere inside the walls, came the sound of a rope tightening. Rika woke up the next morning. She didn't remember anything. Not Takumi. Not the mirror. Not the song. Her eyes were her own again. For the first time in weeks, she smiled like my sister. I hugged her. She smelled like old lipstick asterisk asterisk. Then she whispered, so only I could hear asterisk asterisk. Tell Mom. I kept my promise. I pulled back. Her eyes were Rika's. But her smile wasn't asterisk asterisk. We left that house within days. Kuroda never came back. Mom burned everything we'd taken from the place. Yuna refused to talk about it. And I tried to move on. But 3 months later, a letter arrived. No return address. Inside was a faded Polaroid photo. It was me, at 3 years old, standing in front of that same house. Next to me was a boy. His face was blurred, but I recognized the uniform. The eyes. Takumi. On the back, written in thin, shaky handwriting. You promised you'd come back. I dropped the photo. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. That night, unable to sleep, I caught my reflection in the mirror of my new apartment. For a split second, I wasn't alone. Behind me stood a girl in a white yukata, brushing her hair, smiling. So if you ever rent a cheap house in Tokyo, asterisk asterisk. And there's an old mirror the owner tells you not to touch, asterisk asterisk. Don't clean it, asterisk asterisk. Don't look into it, asterisk asterisk. Because sometimes, what's staring back, asterisk asterisk, isn't your reflection, asterisk asterisk. It's the promise you never knew you made, asterisk.